Hi everyone, welcome to Geneso IT Trainings. My name is Sagar. Today we'll be discussing about PEMKey. Before doing that, I would request everybody to subscribe my channel. In my previous video, I have launched a Linux server. While launching the Linux server in AWS, it has requested us to select a key pair. And as it was the first time we were launching the EC2 instance or a server, what we have done is we have created a new key pair. And the moment we create, after creation of the new key pair, we have downloaded the key pair in the form of PEM file. And you need to really understand what is this PEM file used for. So let us once again go through or try to understand what we have actually done while creating a Linux server. So let me open my Paint and let me tell you, we have launched a Linux server in the AWS. So it means that AWS is trying to provide us a service called as instances, EC2 instance, and we are making use of that particular service, and we have launched a Linux server in AWS. So what actually happened? So let's see here. So this is my Linux, this is my AWS account. So inside your AWS account or inside the AWS, we have something called as regions. Let's say this is my AWS cloud. And you all need to be aware that this AWS is a public cloud. It's one of the huge or a major public cloud that is being available with us, which is going to provide us a lot of services, out of which we are making use of one of the service called as EC2. And inside the AWS cloud, we have multiple regions, and we have launched our Linux server in one of the regions called as Mumbai region. So let me draw that in the form of a square. So this is the Mumbai region that I have, and inside this Mumbai region, we have launched our Linux server, Mumbai region. Okay. So inside the Mumbai region, we do have something called as availability zones, which I'll be talking about availability zones in a different video. Right now, we'll try to understand we have launched our Linux server inside our Mumbai region. And inside this Mumbai region, what else do we have? We do have something called as data centers. So let me draw them. Let me put it in a different color. Okay. So this is called as a data center. And what exactly do we have inside the data center? Let me write here. Data center. And inside this data center consists of huge number of servers. And there will be a lot of networking, and there will be a lot of switches, and there will be a lot of networking connection. Huge amount of servers will be available, and there will be a lot of storage will be available. So all these huge amount of servers and storage devices and networking is called as a data center. In a simple way, I'm trying to make you understand what a data center is all about. So let's say inside this data center we have a rack, and inside this rack we'll be having a pile of servers. So you can assume that this is one rack, a rack. How we have racks at our home, to keep our books or anything inside the racks. In the same way, inside the data center, we'll be having racks, and inside these racks we'll be having servers of different configurations. So whenever we launch a server in AWS, what actually happens is, with the help of hypervisor technology, on any one of these servers, a Linux server is going to be created. We can simply assume that the moment is, in the previous video, we have launched one Linux server, with the name of first EC2 instance. That instance got created somewhere here. This is the instance that we created it. So this is what actually happens, whenever you try to launch any Linux server. Suppose, imagine you create one more Linux server. It might launch on the same server, or it might launch on a different server. If you create another server, it might launch on a different server. So inside this data center, see, basically we are working on the physical server of the AWS data center, which is located in the Mumbai region. And you all need to be aware that this AWS is a public cloud. When I say public cloud, anybody can access AWS website. So you can access it, or I can access it, or any of your friends can access it. Then you need to be really careful. If everybody is accessing it, you might be wondering, I can work on Mumbai region, you can work on Mumbai region, your friends can work on Mumbai region. So when everybody is trying to work on Mumbai region, and what is the safety or what is the security for our server that we launched? So in order to keep our server secure, or in order to make sure our server is not accessible by others, usually some of the mechanisms that we use to keep our servers secure is with the help of usernames and passwords. But AWS is not encouraging us to do it. Instead of that, AWS provides us something called as a key pair. AWS provides something called as a key pair. With the help of the key pairs, we will be able to keep our server highly secured enough. So whenever, if at all, if you're working in your organization, you'll be logging into your servers with the help of your username and password. But AWS is not keeping that as a mode or a mechanism to log into the servers with the help of the usernames and passwords. Why? Because passwords can be easily stolen. So instead of that, what we are trying to do is we are trying to come up with a concept called as key pair. And whenever we are trying to launch a server in the AWS, we will be getting a key pair called as PEM key, which is again called as a private key. So you need to really understand. One of the authentication mechanism is with the help of SSH keys. This authentication mechanism with the help of SSH keys, we will be getting two keys, which is called as private key, and we'll be getting another key called as public key. Private key and public key. So with the help of this private key and public key, we'll be able to connect to your servers. So what actually happens here, these two, if your private key is matching with the public key, then the authentication is successful and you'll be able to connect. So this is one of the authentication mechanisms and highly secured mechanism. Most of the companies, they do use it, and AWS is using this is what the key pair that we are trying to download. So whatever the PEM key that we downloaded while we are creating the EC2 instance is called as the private key. And I have seen so many people getting confused. Between the difference between the private key and the public key. It's very simple. It's very simple. If you look at this diagram here, what we are trying to do is, the moment you create a Linux server here inside this particular server, or wherever inside this particular region, what actually happens is your AWS is going to provide you the PEM key, and I am saying this PEM key is called as a private key. So let's say this is my this is me. I'm here and I'm using my laptop. This is my laptop, and the moment I created a server inside this Linux, inside the AWS, inside the Mumbai region, I'll be getting a key pair, and which is called as a PEM key. And this PEM key is going to be your private key. That is important. Private key. And this is not a public key. And in the server, whatever you created, inside the server, AWS, itself will launch a public key. AWS will launch a public key. So from your laptop, with the help of Mobaxterm, or with the help of PuTTY, or with the help of Git Bash or Excel, any application of your choice, you should be able to connect to your Linux server with the help of the private key that you have it. So what exactly we are trying to do? So this is me here. I'm in my home with the private internet that is connected with me. This is my internet connectivity that I have, and my laptop is connected to this internet. So through the internet, from my laptop through the internet to the internet, and how can you access this AWS of Amazon? From the internet itself. Again, from the internet itself, we will be able to access it. So we are trying to access this particular server, or a Linux server that we have launched in Mumbai region, and this is actually happening through the internet. Because we are trying to connect to this particular Linux server from the internet, that is the reason we will be making use of the public key rather than making use of the private key at the time of the connection. public IP address. If you remember, we will be making use of the public IP address. So in order to really authenticate, this private key or this PEM key needs to be authenticated with the public key that is being available inside this server. So I have launched a Linux server. With the help of the PEM key, we are trying to connect, and inside the server there is a public key, and we are passing on this private key. If you remember, in my previous video, I have used this private key in the Mobaxterm, and we tried logging into the server. So this private key matches this public key, then you will be authenticated, and then you will be able to log in into the server. So let me show you once again. Let me connect to the Mobaxterm. Let me open my Mobaxterm and connect to the server. So let me open my AWS page. So this is the instance which I ran, and let me copy the public IP. Let me copy the public IP and open my Mobaxterm. See, this is the Mobaxterm here. And click on the session, click on the SSH, and make sure you copy your public IP address here and specify the username. This is the Ubuntu based Linux server, so default username is going to be Ubuntu, and click on the advanced SSH settings and use key pair private key. Select this and select the key pair. Sagar Geneso is the key pair which I created, and open it. So now I am making use of this particular key pair. So I am sending this private key pair through the internet to the AWS data center, saying that okay, this is my Linux server which has got the public IP, and I would like to connect to this particular server, and I'm trying to pass on this authentication mechanism of this private key and say okay. The moment I say click on OK, it authenticates with the public key that is available inside the Linux server. If it is matching, if these two, if this PEM key and if this public key, if these two are matching, then you'll be able to connect to your server. You'll be able to log into your server. If you're able to see the screen, if you're able to see the Ubuntu and the host name here and this dollar symbol, and this is nothing but a cursor here, you can press enter. If you're able to see this and if you're able to observe this, it means that we have successfully connected with the help of the private key that we have it to the Linux server. And always remember, the PEM key that you have here is nothing but a private key, and whatever you have in your server is called as a public key. How can you remember it actually? In a simple analogy, let me explain it to you. How can you remember it? Suppose, imagine you went out for your vacation. So this is your home. This is your house. This is your house. Now you went to your vacation. This is your vacation place. Let it be any vacation. You went to your vacation place here. You're here. Let's assume that you're here. And what do you actually do it? You put a lock to your home. You put a lock. And nobody will be able to enter into this house until or unless they have the key with them. So simply look at this. Your house is exposed to the public. Your house is exposed to the public. Everybody can see your house. So that's what the AWS cloud is all about. AWS cloud is a public, anybody can make use of the AWS public cloud. But in this public cloud, people, whoever have this private key, whoever is having the private key, they will only be able to enter into the house. So the key is getting exposed to everybody, which is a public key. So your house has got a public key. So you will be having the private key. You'll be having the private key. So always remember, you will be having the private key and your server will have the public key. So with the help of private key, you will be opening your server or connecting to your server so that it matches the public key and you'll be able to open. So this private key matches only this public key. So nobody can log into it. So this is the importance of PEM key, and you need to be aware of why we are actually downloading the key pair and what is the importance of this particular PEM key or a private key. So this is about understanding of the PEM key and how you will be able to connect to your Linux server with the help of the private key. And I would like to show you one more thing. Once you're done with the usage, or once you're done with the working of your EC2 instance or the Linux server, ensure that you stop your instance. If you do not stop your instance, what happens is it will add up to your billing. So in order to avoid any unnecessary billings for your account, you always ensure that you're going to stop your server. You look at the instance state here, which shows it is running. Whenever it is running, it means that your instance is running currently. So in order to stop your instance, make sure you are going to select this instance, and click on the instance state, and okay, it's refreshing. Okay, you select this instance here, click on it, and click on the instance state, and click on the stop instance. So this is how you'll be able to stop the instance. And right below this, you have another option called a start instance. And again, whenever you would like to use it back, you can again click on this instance and select the start instance as well. So click on the stop instance here, click on the stop button, and it says successfully stopped. And you should be able to observe this instance status stopping. After some time, it goes to the stopped state. So this is what the usage and understanding of PEM key or a private key, and how we authenticate, or how we will be able to connect to our Linux server with the help of the private key, and you need to be aware of how to stop your servers as well. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening. I would request everybody to subscribe my channel. Thank you.